Okay, I'm back for the WWE MVPs. This will be 2001 to 2009. My 2001 MVP is really tough. You could go with Kurt Angle. Kurt Angle was number one at the PWI 500. You could go with Rob Van Dam because I thought Van Dam had an awesome year. Jericho had a great year. The Rock had a great year. But when it comes down to it, you got to go with Stone Cold Steve Austin. He won the Royal Rumble. He defeated Triple H at No Way Out in that. I mean, no, he didn't defeat Triple H at No Way Out. Him and Triple H had a three stages of hell match at No Way Out. That was the match of the year according to the WWF at the time. That was a great match. Then he had an epic match with The Rock at WrestleMania X7 where he turned heel. His whole heel run was awesome. I thought he was just a great heel. He had great matches with Chris Benoit on SmackDown, and he had a great match with Kurt Angle at SummerSlam. Great feud with Kurt Angle. Yeah, so Stone Cold Steve Austin, greatest heel ever in my opinion in 2001. So I'll give it to him. 2002, this is another tough one. Undertaker had a great year. RVD had another great year. Jericho had a great year. Brock Lesnar was a great rookie. WWE actually gave the award to him. But when it comes down to it, I'm going to go with Kurt Angle. Now, Kurt Angle got off to a really shaky start. I thought his feud with Triple H sucked at the beginning of the year. Was in a feud with Kane. And then eventually he feuded with Edge. That's when things started to pick up. He had a great series of matches with Edge. He put Edge over, got his head shaved, had a great King of the Ring match with Hulk Hogan, carried Hogan to his best match in years at King of the Ring, had a great triple threat match at Vengeance with Undertaker and Kurt Angle, had some great matches with Mysterio at SummerSlam and SmackDown, had some great matches with Chris Benoit, Unforgiven, and some other great matches on SmackDown with Chris Benoit and Edge. And then him and Benoit were tag team champions. They won the tag team championship at No Mercy, where they had the match of the year with Edge and Rey Mysterio. That was a great match. And him and Benoit had great matches with the Guerreros overseas and even on SmackDown. And then I thought Angle, he closed off the year by defeating the Big Show at Armageddon to win the WWE Championship. So yeah, this is one year. This is not kayfabe at all. Kurt Angle, best in-ring performer in 2002, was healthy the whole year. This is right before all the neck problems, so I'll give it to Kurt. 2002. 2003 is another tough one. I'm gonna have to give it to Brock Lesnar. Brock and Angle had a great feud leading into WrestleMania, and then Brock feuded with Cena and the Big Show. He had a great match with the Big Show at Judgment Day in a stretcher match. Then he feuded with Kurt Angle throughout the summertime. They had a pretty good match at SummerSlam. Then he feuded with Undertaker again, which was Consequence Sa. And then Lesnar turned heel. I thought Lesnar was a pretty decent heel. I thought he was finally hitting his stride. I finally found Lesnar kind of entertaining on the mic at the time. And he closed off the year with a great underrated match with Chris Benoit on SmackDown. So I'll give it to Brock Lesnar, 2003. That was his year shortly before he left WWE in 2004. So for 2004, this is going to be tough. It's pretty much flip a coin, Eddie Guerrero or Chris Benoit. You know what? I'll give it to. I'm gonna have to give it to Benoit. I thought he had more of a consistent year. He won the Rumble and was arguably the greatest Rumble match ever. And then he WrestleMania 20 put on the greatest triple threat match of all time with Shawn Michaels and Triple H. And then they had a rematch at Backlash. Then he carried Kane to one of his best matches at Bad Blood. And then he had a great match with Triple H at Vengeance, and he had an Iron Man match with Triple H. Those are two great title defenses. And then he put Randy Orton over. Orton became the youngest world champion. And then Benoit really didn't do much the rest of the year, but 2004 was his year. Runner-up, you got to go with Eddie Guerrero as well. So it's pretty. I feel bad about it, but either Benoit or Eddie for 2004. But I'll personally have to go with Benoit because he was my favorite wrestler ever at that point. So 2005, wow. I don't know. I'm going to go with Shawn Michaels, actually. I was thinking about putting Kurt Angle there, but I'm going to go with Shawn. Shawn had a great match with Edge at the Royal Rumble. I thought that was a pretty underrated match. Then he feuded with Kurt Angle. Him and Kurt actually tore the house down at WrestleMania 21. Then he was tagging with Hogan, and then he had the great rematch with Kurt Angle at Vengeance. I thought that was another underrated great match. And then he feuded with Hogan throughout the summertime. I thought the promos between him and Hogan were just awesome. And the stuff he did with Hogan was just monumental. HBK is a heel again. I mean, what more could you ask for? And then he had a great match on Raw, probably the best Raw match in a long time with Shelton Benjamin. The finish of that was awesome. Benjamin went for like a springboard, but Shawn just super kicked him right in the face. I thought that was an awesome match. Then he had a pretty underrated match with Chris Masters at Unforgiven. And then pretty much he was in a triple threat match with Cena and Kurt Angle at Taboo Tuesday. And then he had a rematch, Iron Man half-hour rematch with Kurt Angle on Raw. So I thought Shawn Michaels was definitely the MVP of 2005 as far as in-ring and just cutting great promos. 2006, I'm going to go with Edge. Edge really made things interesting. He beat Cena for the belt at New Year's Revolution, cashing his Money in the Bank. Him and Cena had a pretty good feud. He had a great match with Foley at WrestleMania. And then Edge had a pretty good match with RVD at Vengeance. RVD, Cena, and Edge had a pretty nice three-way feud for the title. And then I thought Edge and Cena had another great match at SummerSlam. And then they had a great rematch at Unforgiven in that TLC match. And then Edge and Orton actually were started a tag team called Rated RKO, and I thought Edge really carried that tag team on the mic because I thought Orton was terrible on the mic at that time for whatever reason. But I'll give it to Edge. 2007, wow, this is tough. I'm going to have to go with John Cena here. Shawn Michaels is a close runner-up, but I'll give it to Cena. I thought Cena put on a great last man standing match with Umaga at the Rumble, and then I thought the series of matches between Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania against the matches between Cena and Shawn Michaels were great. They had a great match at WrestleMania. They had a great rematch on Raw, which went almost an hour. And then everyone started to get hurt. Undertaker got hurt. Shawn Michaels got hurt. Orton didn't get hurt, but someone else Kennedy got hurt as well, of course. So yeah, the Cena was really the only guy there, really. And then the whole Benoit fiasco happened. Cena had some pretty good matches with Khali. I mean, you give him credit; he made those matches as good as they could have been. Then he had a great match with Bobby Lashley at the Great American Bash, and then he had an epic match with Orton at SummerSlam. I do agree that's a great match. And then unfortunately, he tore his pectoral before the year was over. But Cena was so good that year. I'll give it to him, even though he didn't finish out the year. 2008, without a doubt, Chris Jericho back in the WWE. The WWE had their best year since 2005, in my opinion, and a lot of that had to do because Chris Jericho was back. Jericho got off to a shaky start. He was in a feud with JBL. Really wasn't doing much, but when he turned heel, he had the feud of the year with HBK. That was great. Then he just had some pretty decent matches on Raw, which were pretty good. Like he had a great IC title match with Jeff Hardy on Raw, and then when he won the world title, him and Shawn Michaels continued the feud. They had a great match at Unforgiven, and that non-sanctioned match. Then he had a great match with Shawn Michaels in that ladder match at No Mercy. I thought that was an awesome match, underrated. That's probably my match of the year for 2008. So yeah, Jericho had a great year. Then he lost the belt to Cena, and then I thought he had a very underrated match against Cena at Armageddon. And Jericho was just great on the mic this year. Really revamped his character. Was very classy. Came out with a suit. Just totally, it's not an easy thing to do to totally go against what worked in the past and to come up with something new. And that's what Jericho did. The MVP for 2008 and the Superstar of the Year for 2008, Chris Jericho. 2009 so far, MVP. Rey Mysterio's had a great year, but I'm going to give it to Jericho as well. Well, you know what? I don't know. It's a toss-up between Jericho and CM Punk, but I thought Jericho's just had another great year on the mic. They're using him on both shows. He's the undisputed tag team champion for a reason. But the reason I think they're doing it is because they can get away with the fact that you can utilize Jericho on both shows. And Jericho's had great matches with Mysterio, and I thought he was great in the Elimination Chamber match. Him and Mysterio really carried that match. So Jericho, Mysterio, Punk, Jeff Hardy, those are probably the MVPs. Randy Orton's should be considered as well, because he was involved in a lot of the top storylines. But I'll go with Jericho for 2008 and 2009.